Shalom everyone, Parashiyot Vayakhel-P'kudei, Tafshin Peivav. The double parasha Vayakhel-P'kudei begins with the pasuk Vayakhel Moshe et kol adat bnei Israel. Moshe assembled the entire congregation of Bnei Israel and commanded them to keep Shabbat. A few psukim later, again, Moshe speaks to kol adat bnei Israel, the entire congregation of Bnei Israel, and tells them to bring donations for the Mishkan and build a Mishkan. And they go, they bring the donations, everyone does his and her share, everyone does what he or she can do for the building of the Mishkan, and they build the Mishkan. The Ishbetzer Radzin Rebbe, Rabbi Mordechai Yosef Leiner, whose drashot are collected in the book Mei HaShiloach, draws our attention to something that I missed, and I'm grateful to him for pointing it out. The Torah could have simply said, Moshe spoke to Bnei Israel and told them, keep Shabbat, build a Mishkan. Why this stress on Vayakhel? He assembled them, and twice the entire congregation of Bnei Israel. There are commandments that a Jew can fulfill alone, or two people together, or a congregation, or two congregations. One can keep Shabbat even entirely alone. You can do chesed if there are two people. A small Jewish community living in Eretz Israel can perform some of the mitzvot that are dependent on being in Eretz Israel, and things like that. But there are commandments that can only be taken, that can only be performed by all of Am Yisrael. These are national commandments. The keeping Shabbat can be done, as we said, even if you're an individual. But if all of Am Yisrael, and when all of Am Yisrael will keep Shabbat, that's a totally different energy of Shabbat. We are familiar with the Yom Kippur in Medinat Israel, so different than anywhere else in the world. The country stops for a day. It's an amazing energy. And now think of that happening once a week, every Shabbat, because all of Am Yisrael wants to keep Shabbat. It's a totally different energy when all of Am Yisrael does it together. And the Mikdash is a mitzvah that can only be performed when all of Am Yisrael do it together. It will only happen when all of us, all of Am Yisrael, we will take this mitzvah upon ourselves. This is also reflected in some of the halachot of the Mikdash. You cannot bring a private donation to the Mikdash for the communal sacrifices. It can only come from the machatzit shekel that every Jew brings, because these are sacrifices that represent all of Am Yisrael. A synagogue can have a sign on it that it was donated by family X, but Beit Hamikdash cannot be donated by one specific person. It can only be done by the entire assembly of the entire congregation of Am Yisrael. And this is what Moshe is teaching Bnei Israel. He tells everyone together to keep Shabbat and everyone together to build a Mishkan and the Mikdash. For this to happen, we have to work within Am Yisrael. It's not easy. I don't know of an easy way to get Am Yisrael everyone together to want to build the Mikdash. But this is what we have to do. The Ishbetzer Rebbe also taught us to notice that the building of the Mishkan happened when everyone did their share. Everyone did a share, and they all did it together. And then what happened? It all came together. Why is this so? Because Moshe knew how to assemble everyone together and have everyone come and do this together. Everyone did his or her share and left space for someone else to do their part. And that's when the Mishkan is built. And how does the double parasha of Vayakhel-P'kudei end? When the Shekhinah, the divine presence of Hashem, dwells in the Mishkan. Because once Am Yisrael does this, everyone together, all of Adat Bnei Israel together, then the Shekhinah can dwell in the Mishkan. If a group of people build a certain device, each brings one component and they connect everything together, and then the device works. If one person fails to bring his component, even only one component missing, the device might not function. And this is what we see here in Am Yisrael. If one Jew is not participant, if one part of the Mishkan is not there because not everyone took place in it, then the Shekhinah cannot dwell there. When all of us come together and do our share, some do something great, some do something small, but we all do our share, then the Shekhinah dwells in the Mishkan. Of course, some parts of the Mishkan are more important than others. Some Jews are more lofty and amazing, have amazing spiritual abilities, chesed abilities, more than others. Not everyone is the same, but nonetheless, only when everyone has their share, then does the Shekhinah dwell in Am Yisrael. In that sense, we can all learn from Moshe to assemble the entire congregation of Am Yisrael, of Bnei Yisrael. When we join all those forces together, then we bring out the complete force and complete koach of Am Yisrael. And only when we learn to assemble the entire congregation of Bnei Yisrael, then will we build Beit Hamikdash together. Shabbat Shalom.